what that is. And I'd really, yeah, I'll keep this short and sweet and hand over to our network hosts, Delia and Stephen.
Great. Thank you so much, Julian. Thanks for everything that you do as co-chair of the network. Um, our idea is that because we are a very broad network, it's great to continue to promote the work that people are doing, invite new people in to task teams, invite support for the work, and basically do the networking that happens. And so I'm going to be sharing a screen, and we've given each of our task teams 3 minutes, as well as our hubs, which are regional hubs you'll be hearing about, 3 minutes to talk about what they do, which is pretty short. I'll be timing you.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when you have about 30 seconds left. And if you have questions, feel free to pop them into the chat, and we'll see if we can answer them either in the chat or as we go along during the program. So we're going to start by hearing about our next conference, which is coming up, and then after that, on deck is the Education and Inclusive Engagement Task Team, just so you know. So hoping that I will be able to share my screen. I tested, it did work. Okay. Anybody know a good joke? Okay, let's see. Let me try again. Okay, I know the problem.
Keep me in suspense, Delia.
I know. The
Can I
whole
start talking while we
just so you
go?
know, we
Always
did test this earlier, and it did work. So I know it's going to work this time too. And just give me one more second.
The really great thing about this, when Delia gets this slide up, I'm going to be telling you the dates for the conference.
Which is a big
And
announcement.
the meeting directly after this, we've got the first meeting with the conference committee. So I'm hoping they don't say, hey, I don't like those dates, we've got to change them. So I'm just going straight in.
Okay. Hopefully, we did it. Are you seeing it now?
Yep.
Yes.
Delia.
Great. Okay. Welcome. And here you go, Neil.
All right. So time started. So guys, World Trails Conference 2026, as you know, is going to be in Western Australia. So it's going to be the week of the 19th to the 23rd of October. It's going to be hosted in Perth in Western Australia. So Perth's the capital city here, and it's home to the Whadjuk people, the Noongar Nation. They've been the traditional owners of this land for 65,000 years. You can see in the picture on the top left there, that is the city of Perth in the background. And the couple sitting in the park looking over Perth, they're sitting in Kings Park. Kings Park is one of the biggest inner city parks in the world. And it's a great kind of resemblance of all the types of nature you'll get through Western Australia. It's 2.5K walk from the place where we're going to be hosting the conference, and it's home to a host of trails. Specifically on trails, we think Western Australia and specifically Perth is a bit of a trail lover's paradise. There's over 1,000 sanctioned trails in Western Australia. 391 of those are within an hour of the Perth CBD, so within an hour of the city. We're surrounded by a kind of a chain of hills. So you've got the other two images there that you can see. The one on the far right is on the Bibbulmun track out in the hills, heading off down to the south coast. Now, the Bibbulmun track is one of our two mega trails that leave Perth and head down south. They're over 1,000 Ks. The Bibbulmun is a hiking trail. The Mundabiddi is a mountain biking trail. We're going to be getting you guys out to have a look at those. And the photo in the centre is of Rottnest Island, which is a short boat trip away. We're hoping we can get you there too. It's a trail lover's paradise because there's no cars. You can only cycle or walk on Rottnest. So in terms of the time of year, it's the Noongar season of Camberang. So we have 6 seasons. That's spring for everybody else. Should be a nice 25 degrees centigrade. If you do that funny Fahrenheit thing, which I don't understand, that's apparently 77. But what we're hoping to do is ensure we get you to spend lots of time connecting, lots of time outdoors and engaging with trails, and hopefully having a wonderful time here in Perth and Western Australia. And we're looking forward to seeing it.
Neil, we are so looking forward to seeing you too. Thank you for pulling it together. And it's really exciting to have official dates to put on the calendar. So that's a big moment. Thanks.
Hope they stay official. We'll see you at the next meeting.
Yeah, that's true. Well, then we're going to move right into the task teams. And as I said, we're going to aim to have about 3 minutes per task team. Put any questions or comments in the chat. And we're going to start with the Education and Inclusive Engagement task team. Julie, I think you're with us.
I'm here. I'm with you. Hi, everyone. I'm Julie. I'm dialing in from the mountains of Western North Carolina. And my heart and workspace is with Just Trails, a practice of regenerating nature and communities through the connective power of trails. And I'm super lucky to co-chair the Education and Inclusive Engagement Task Team along with Delia and Tatla, who's going to come on in just a moment. And I also serve the World Trails Board as a member there. The focus of our task team work has been sharing promising practices and resources related to education and inclusive engagement among current and future trail stewards, leaders, adventurers, and organizers all around the world. We promote education and engagement really as a way to work toward a community-centered approach to managing trails and creating more stewards and advocates. And to accomplish this, we do this through, we've got two initiatives, main initiatives, World Trails Ambassadors and Indigenous Ways that we uplift and support. And we also host open forums, which Tatla will talk about in a minute. But I'm going to see if I can invite to join and come off of mute to tell us a little bit about what are World Trails Ambassadors.
Hi, everyone. So I am Brooke. I'm from the Bruce Trail Conservancy here in Ontario, Canada. And I was part of the first cohort of World Trails Ambassadors. So that was from 2022 to 2024. Each World Trails Ambassador is a young emerging leader from all around the world. So we've had ambassadors from the US and Canada. Also, we have an ambassador from Cameroon, Lebanon, Indonesia, all around the world. And this is a great platform for us to become more involved with the World Trails Network and get connected with other trail experts with resources, and it's an opportunity to share our work as well. In this slide here, you'll see some of our ambassadors from the 2022-2024 cohort. We had the opportunity to attend the conference in Greece. And then the current cohort, so they're 2024 to 2026, they had the opportunity to come to the conference in Ottawa. And so there's 6 of them there. And we still meet the alumni as well as the current cohort to share our ideas, to connect with others in the same world, the trail world. And it's been a really excellent opportunity to get some young, fresh blood into the World Trails Network. And so we're hoping that this legacy continues and we continue to grow the program.
So briefly, Indigenous Ways is an Indigenous-led movement chaired by Kylie's, who some of you maybe saw at and heard and met at the conference in Ottawa. And it's a convening of conversations around Indigenous-led trail development and purposeful engagement globally. So these forums and circles that are put together are also led by Indigenous leaders globally and sharing some of the community-led developed trails and practices. And behind the scenes of the forums is a lot of work happening with 3 main work streams related to purposeful engagement, workforce development, and truth-telling and storytelling of the ways that trails can really support communities and especially be managed by and built by and with Indigenous communities and tribes. So stay tuned for a new site being developed by more about Indigenous ways and hear from examples and experts. And lastly, I'll hand it over to Tatla to talk about our education and inclusive practices and forums, which the next one is on May 21st.
May 21st. Hello, everyone. I'm Takla from Lebanon Mountain Trail Association, and I'm co-chairing with my colleague Delia and Julie on the education and inclusive practices task team. Actually, we have four forums. We did till now. We did 2 forums. The first one was about Conservation Corps, a global model for trails, and there was 4 speakers who talk about the Conservation Corps. The second one was about inclusive. About education and inclusive accessibility global models for trail, and we had the 3 speakers. They talked about accessibility and trails and a model for trails to do inclusion with hiking, trail running, accessible practices, and etc. We still have 2. One about education, and the other one it's about I think we didn't choose the 4th one. We will, but the next one will be about education and trails.
Good. Thank you so much, you guys. We shouldn't have gone first because we went over in our time. We tried to fit in too many people, but hopefully everyone else will stick to their 3 minutes. And next up is tourism, and after that, conservation. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody from St. John or Manassas in New Brunswick, Canada. I'm coming to you from the traditional territory of the Wolastoqiyik, and my name is Jane McCullough, and I am the co-chair of the tourism task team with Kate Harbour. Kate's unfortunately not here today, so I'm taking the reins. So I'm going to go over some of our 2024 activities, but really focus on our upcoming activities, and we're really excited. We've been around for a little while, but we really haven't been able to do a whole lot. So this is we're going to really dive into it this year. So in 2024, we did a pre-conference best practice journey just outside of Ottawa. And then at the World Trails Conference, we really used that time as an opportunity for us to get an understanding of where people were interested and where they wanted to take the tourism task team. We really wanted input from the people that were at the conference. So that resulted in the next 4 projects that we're going to be focusing on. So the first one that we're doing, and we're actually going to be holding one in April, is our quarterly task team gatherings and learning opportunities. So similar to what the previous task team talked about, we are going to be holding forums for discussion and inviting people to be able to discuss and bring forward discussion topics that they have interest in. We really want to build connections among the global community of trails, share lessons learned, and source new ideas, and really just have fun and get to know each other. We really want to use this as an opportunity to make connections and reach out and learn. You know, we want to create a global community. So our upcoming gathering is either on April 16th or 22nd. You'll have to sign up for it. And it's going to have Chris Rose from TRC Tourism to talk about revenue generation. So we're really excited about that. The next one is best practice mission. So we dipped our toes in it prior to the conference, and we've learned a lot from that. And now we want to endeavor on setting up another one for this fall. And really, it's an opportunity to gain knowledge from other jurisdictions that can be applied or adapted to your respective trails. We want to create conversations across the sectors that intersect the trail tourism community and build community again. That's really what we're trying to do. And then our third project, which is one that I'm leading, is on Regenerative Trail Tourism Toolkit. Our goal is to develop a toolkit to present at the 2026 World Trails Conference. So for those of you that were at the conference this past October, you may have heard Emily Camo-Sinclair. Emily and I worked together previously, so I know Emily, and she spoke about regenerative tourism. And so we want to look at how we can create a regenerative trail tourism toolkit, because I believe that trails are really well positioned as a regenerative tourism product. And our final one, and I think I'm going to save some time for you, Delia, is market ready guidelines. So I'm sure all of you are probably well aware of what market ready guidelines are with respect to tourism, but we want to apply a different lens to it and look at how other areas are using market ready guidelines. And so what we're looking at doing is effectively creating a white paper on the various market ready guidelines around the globe to really understand what's going on out there and how we look at it through a cultural lens as well as other lenses. So we're really looking at this as not to say that one's better than the other, but how they can work together or how we can learn from them. And so that's really where we're focusing on the 4 areas of our focus. And then finally, if you're interested in joining our task team or signing up for updates on our forums, feel free to write this email address down, and that goes right to Kate, and then Kate will get back to you and we'll add you to our mailing list. Thank you very much.
Great work. Thank you so much. Next up is the conservation task team, and followed by knowledge.
Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today and to see so many familiar faces again. So welcome. Quickly, the Conservation Task Team of the World Trails Network is one of the older task teams, but only really got its feet in the last 3 years. We are busy unlocking the benefits that trails bring to conservation and how conservation can inform better trail management. We've also teamed up with the IUCN, World Commission on Protected Areas specialist group on trails and conservation. How do I change?
I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Delia. So a quick overview of what we're doing, essentially bringing the trail experts and conservation experts together across the sectors, and really looking at the role trails can play in functioning as a conservation tool. Okay, change again. All right, we had a panel at the World Trails Conference in Ottawa last year, launching essentially our program around trails functioning as a tool for connectivity, connecting landscapes and connecting protected areas. Next. And so this is what we covered during that. We also launched the definition of trail corridors for conservation, and also looked at the role that trails can play, especially long distance trails, in wildlife connectivity. And we are also looking at how trails, the buffer zones on trails, can function as movement zones or in times of environmental change or climate change. Next. So here's a quick concept of what we see as trail corridors for conservation. So you have on the left side, you have your typical traditional trail corridor that is managed for the trail tread and that buffer of clearing immediately adjacent to the trail. And the trail corridors for conservation look at much wider conservation buffers either side of the trail corridor, very much in alignment with what the Appalachian Trail has done. And where the Appalachian Trail, as an example, has pivoted from being a trail organization to one that is essentially a landscape-wide conservation or stewardship organization. Next, Delia. We are championing a number of causes, and this year we've got a very exciting program of events lined up in front of us. We did present at the end of last year at the Convention on Biological Diversity the recommendation to have trails that are managed for connectivity and conservation to be recognized as linear protected areas. And this year in September, we will be presenting at the IUCN World Conservation Congress on the same recommendation. We've just, gosh, I hope there's not too much background noise, guys. I'm in a very busy sidewalk cafe. The IUCN Congress will be launching the resolution that we hear has just been accepted today, which is really excellent news. This means it goes to all the members of the IUCN to recognize that trails managed for connectivity can be considered as linear protected areas. This is a huge milestone if we can get this through at the Congress in September. We'll also be presenting at the International Mountain Conference in Austria, as well as the World Congress on Biosphere Reserves in China later this year. So we are certainly putting trails and conservation on the world map. Next, Delia. And our next steps are to complete 2 papers. One is an overview of the synergies and research priorities between trails and conservation, as well as our paper on connectivity, conservation, and trails. And we are excited to potentially be launching an official partnership with UNESCO Biosphere Reserves, and to deepen our relationship with the IUCN's Green List of Protected Areas, in particular looking at their criteria, and hopefully doing that in conjunction with the Green Flag Trails program, if that all comes together. So that's it in a nutshell. If you want to contact us, I'll put an email address in the chat for everyone, but it's basically conservation.taskteam@worldtrailsnetwork.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Galio. So much great work. I'm already so excited by our rendezvous. Next up is knowledge, and after that, trail sustainability and governance.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Shay Rabineau. I'm a professor at Binghamton University in upstate New York in the United States, and I'm a historian. And my co-chair for the Trails and Knowledge Task Team is Martina Sedlakova. Wave, Martina. Hi. Knowledge Task Team is a strange name because every task team has knowledge and its unique brand of knowledge, and we are certainly not trying to monopolize that. Instead, what we've been trying to do is think of ways in which we can gather trail knowledge in a way that's going to be more useful for practitioners, for academics, and so on. So we've been calling that trailology. A lot of trail knowledge, great trail knowledge, has been developed across the trail sciences, but we want to also broaden that out toward the humanities and the arts and have a larger conversation about what trails are, what they mean, how to develop them, and even look beyond tourism trails and recreational trails and think about other ways in which people walk and consider how our trail community can speak to those areas. So we've been building an international network of trail researchers. We meet monthly on Zoom, and we do short presentations where researchers share kind of their little niche of trailology according to their field or discipline. And the goal is to begin creating a worldwide conversation in which trail practitioners, academics, and so on begin to develop a shared language for talking about trails and a good space for sharing knowledge. So some of those exist, but we want to try to pull those together as much as we can. We've released essay collections, and we have some of the other things that you can see on this slide, but we can talk about those in a bit more detail. We'll go to the next one. So at the 2024 WTN conference in Ottawa, we launched what's called the Trailology Collective. It's kind of a more formalized group of people working on the trailology question in the academic space, and we signed a manifesto. Which sounds high-flown, but really it's just a way to agree on how we all approach trails. We released an essay collection called Trailology 1, and now we're working within our own academic networks to try to create trailology centers and hubs. And so the nascent Trailology Collective is meeting in the space of the Trails and Knowledge Task Team, and there's a lot of overlap, and we're working together to build this out. Can we go to the next one, please? All right, so as I said, we do monthly Zoom meetings in which we're trying to continue to define trailology in our task team, and we have featured presenters every time. So people are coming from different backgrounds and sharing what they know. So our upcoming presentations on April 14th, if you're interested in joining, we have someone who does network analysis, Hiroki Sayama at my own institution. On May 12th, we have someone who comes and does a lot of artwork that deals with geological themes, even uses tidal data as a way to create her artwork, Sarah Nance, and she's going to be talking about how trails relate to her work. And then June 9th, we have a world-renowned conflict resolution expert, Josh Weiss from Harvard University, who's also been involved in building trails in different parts of the world. Go to the next one, please. All right, so in each one of our task team meetings, our presenters write short essays. So we've been gathering trailological knowledge it's meant not to be arcane or super detailed. Really, it's meant to speak to a larger audience and create a window into how maybe a surprising discipline like history for me, or sociology or economics or something like that can speak to trails and what we can learn from those disciplines. In 2026, we hope to release Trailology 2. And in the longer term, we're looking at creating a trailology journal, an actual published peer-reviewed journal for academics, but also bringing in practitioners and advocates. It's a first-of-its-kind project that we have in mind. So finally, our other projects also include the digital library that we sort of inherited from Nat Scrimshaw and Andras Molnar and the Trails and Sustainability Task Team, both of whom are still very involved in Trails and Knowledge. Andras has led study tours in Europe with participation from around the world. We're organizing some mini trailology gatherings, possibly July in Eastern Europe and then November in Western Europe somewhere, working on those. And then at my own institution, we're building a proposal for an organized research center, which we hope would be the first of many academic hubs for a more systematic study of trails, in which they're really at the center of academic focus. Everything that I've talked about, you can look at in preview form at trailology.net. It's a very basic website, but we're working on that too. And you can contact us at the email address there. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you so much, Shay. Next up, we are going to have trail sustainability and governance, followed by trail design and stewardship. So take it away.
Thank you, Delia. We have been reorganizing the Trails and Sustainability Task Team. Now we are adopting governance as a focus for this task team. So we are discussing different topics, this including different governance arrangements, public participations, and different management structures from the local, regional, national, international level. So we have members from different countries and also focusing on develop partnerships and promote best practices between networks. Next, please, Julia.
Yep. I should have asked you to introduce yourself. Sorry, I should have done that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, I'm Cesar. I'm from Bolivia. Right now I'm in Brazil, in the middle of the most biodiverse savanna of the world, the Cerrado. And well, continue on governance. So the discussions are on technical and scientific reference. We have been discussing good governance models for protected areas and how those can be adapted to trails. There's also some case studies. I just have a meeting on how governance for trails is something very hard to understand and manage. And sometimes we're talking of hundreds and thousands of kilometers. So different scales on how governance can be managed. And we are planning a research on national trail systems. Next, please, Julia. And Nat also contribute with initial article on that, talking about different structures between networks and regional networks. And there is a phrase that I highlighted that is from the best guidelines of the IUCN, that good governance is good for people and for conservation. So connecting to what Galio was mentioning about trail corridors and trail networks for conservation, we are thinking, and I'm developing this concept in my PhD that I'm finishing in 3 months, that is connectivity governance, how the arrangements and needs, the social and economic political arrangements are a solid base to build trails for conservations, because we can have the corridors, the protected areas, but we need to have the social and political structure to support that. So we're working on that. And we are meeting every third Wednesday at 1 p.m. UTC. So everybody's welcome.
Great, thanks, and congratulations on your PhD. Next up is the Trail Design and Stewardship Task Team, followed by Arts and Culture.
Hello, everyone. I'm Chachi. Basically, we have 3 members in our task team, is Yuhui Liang and Jackie Tao. Basically, we have 2 purposes of our task team. First of all is facilitate exchange and knowledge sharing on trail design and stewardship topics, and we will talk a little bit later. The second is identify and pursue collaboration opportunities among members and with other task teams. Next, please. Just last month, we used, the first topic is traditional trail design and maintenance. And we used 3 different cases in Taiwan last month. Next, please. As you can see, the case A in north of Taiwan, but we use the pebble as a trail material. The case B in South Taiwan, we use the slate and shells. The case C, we use the asphalt basalt to serve as a windbreak wall and growing cobs. So this is the original intention of our task team to record and collect a similar construction method in Taiwan. Also, we hope that everyone can participate in to record and discover the traditional trail construction method of your own country. Next. Yuhui, please.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to go over the next 2 slides and really quickly. And then the second initial topic that we identified is citizen science. And I think everyone knows that citizen science is a global trend. I think global trend, and then it has a great potential for trails, for evidence-based trail management and stewardship. And it can also generate some really other beneficial outcomes. So our task team would like to compile the best examples and programs about citizen science integrations into trail monitoring and trail management. And we'd like also to explore collaboration opportunities with the task team members and also with other task teams. Of course, we are always open to others' ideas for this task team to pursue. And then we have got some very great ideas already from the last 3 task team meetings. So next one, please. So please join this new task team. I think we just formed earlier this year, and the co-lead myself and Chachi, as he mentioned. And so we have already scheduled all monthly meetings for this year. So you're welcome to send us an email. We can send you a calendar invite and also keep you posted of our activities for this year and beyond. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. Next up, we are going to hear about arts and culture. So Stephen, take it away.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Delia. And just wanted to take this opportunity as co-chair for those of you who aren't already involved in task teams. Just as you're listening to all this, it's a lot of information to take in. I think Brooke has put the link to how to sign up for the newsletter and become a member of the World Trails Network if you haven't already. So that way you can find out about all of these great task teams. And we're really looking for you to consider joining one of them. So as you're listening to all of this, please consider joining one of our task teams.
Everybody's welcome.
Yeah. Yes. And as trail people are apt, many of our folks are off doing various things. So I'm subbing in for Ali Pretty, who is the chair of the Arts and Culture Task Team. She's also a board member at the World Trails. I think the Arts and Culture Task Team really is working to embrace the UNESCO definition of culture, which is a set of distinctive spiritual, material, intellectual, and emotional features of society or social groups that it encompasses, in addition to arts and literature, lifestyle, ways of living together, values, systems, traditions, and beliefs. So it really is talking about bringing trails into that conversation of deeply embedded culture. And you've seen it throughout this conversation so far, and really embraced with the Arts and Culture Task Team. Next slide, please. Yeah. So the Arts and Culture Task Team, they're undertaking various activities. As you can see, they also have a speaker series. So boy, you could spend almost every week attending a speaker from the World Trails Network. They also are quite involved in walking artists groups, and that's where Ali is right now. She has a Beach of Dreams tour that they're working on right now. So she is off doing an arts walk as we speak. Next slide, please. The other piece of it is that the task team is quite involved with pilgrimage as one of their theme areas. So pilgrimage being a very important part of walking culture, and involved in various community productions. And you see images here from the arts and culture trip to Costa Rica, I guess last year. They also have exchanges, you can see, with the Lebanon Mountain Trail, and doing a major event in the UK right now.
And I would mention that Ali's co-chair is Pete Morris. And so that's who Pete is here.
Okay, great. Next slide. So you can take part now. There's the Coastal Day, May 25th. If you're Coastal Arts Festival, if you're in the UK, really encourage you to join that, and you can join Ali. We'll post her link to the to the chat if you want to speak to Ali about becoming involved in the arts and culture task team. Thanks, Delia.
Yeah, thank you. We'll move on to media. The current chair of media, who's looking for a co-chair, Zach Klein, is home with 2 sick children, and now he caught it too. So they're all homesick, and so I just wanted to share his work. He's been working on the World Trails Film Festival, which some of you might have seen at either of the last couple conferences. He's also with the task team trying to pull in other media, for example, trail guides, which is an interesting, form of media, as well as podcasts and contributing to the website and that kind of thing. So you can reach out to him through Brooke's link, and another person who couldn't be here today, but I wanted to share the work they're doing. This is a newly formed task team, Cities and Towns, that's builds off of our former, we used to have one called Cities and Trails, and then we had one called Communities. And what these 2 co-chairs, Brendan and David, are looking at doing, they're off at conferences, both of them, but is highlighting cities that have got really positive trail systems. So trail systems that allow people to live healthy lifestyles, connect with nature, connect neighborhoods and other spaces equitably, so you can get from one place to another. And they're looking for success stories and creating case studies of those. And I think they've identified 5 that they're working on. They've begun meeting, and they're really excited about it. So they're another group you can learn more about. And then lastly, for task teams, and then we'll move on to hubs, the technology task team is now in its 2nd round. They were formed in after the conference in Skiathos, Greece in 2022, and they've been charging forward, trying to identify the role of technology in trails and with trailology, such an important and growing area. These are the focus areas that they're looking at, everything from digitization of trail resources. Maybe some of you have used some, I know I have, some digital trail resources as you're walking, or also looking at doing surveys on things like social, economic, and cultural impact or of trail tech or user-generated content. So they've looked at a lot of those kinds of things. Oren is the chair of this task team. She also was an ambassador in the first cohort of ambassadors that formed in Greece. She's a complete tech hotshot, and she's also just a brilliant and wonderful woman. And she wants a co-chair. So if you are interested in co-chairing the technology task team, or if you know somebody who might be, here's how to contact Oren. She's based both in Asia and the US, she and her husband Nate. And so it's such an important and growing area. If you know someone who'd be good, she's only going to have the call for a co-chair open for about 1 more month. She's looking at reviewing candidates now. She wants to broaden the pool, and then she'll be making a choice. So act fast if you or someone you know might be interested in doing this. This is her definition of the co-chair position. They would work with her to expand the team. You can read this, take initiative on maybe their own technology project or support some of the existing ones, work with WTN, and be part of going to the advisory council meetings that all co-chairs participate in. So that's another exciting opportunity. And now we're going to, whoa, sorry about that. Now we're going to move on to the hubs. And what have I done here?
Yeah, if you can just go back.
Trying. It somehow thinks I want to edit your slide. Let me, just a second. Let me see if
Feel free to edit my slides, Delia.
Let me, you know what? I'm going to just escape and get out of this. Here we go. Oh, you know what it is? It's not going to let me go back without editing. I'm so sorry, Nat.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay. Shoot, I don't know what to do here. Maybe Brooke or some brilliant person who's a different generation from me can tell me what to do.
Well, that's okay. If we want to just start on.
It's just the back button. It is the same as the edit button on my screen. Let me
Maybe
try
with the keyboard, Delia?
Oh, there's a thought. Yep, nope.
Oh,
Not working. Sorry, guys. Let me see. Let me quickly, maybe just, Nat, you can just start to talk and I'll see if I
Sure.
can. No, am I going
You're
forward or
going
back?
forward, yeah.
Ah, not what I want to be doing. Okay, let me just try. Let me see if I can do this. Go backward. Do. And right there. Is that the?
Where's the technology task team when we need it?
No, I'm telling you, we definitely need them. Here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Get us in the right place. I am the wrong person to be driving tech ever, but that's okay. Can somebody explain what hubs are while I get us to the right place? That would
Sure.
probably
Yeah. Why don't I do that? So in addition, for those of you who aren't familiar, in addition to the task teams, we have regional hubs. So we have, and they take different forms. They've been around for different lengths of time. We have the original hub was the Asia Pacific hub, and then we have the European hub. We have the Americas hub. We have the Europe hub, we have the Mediterranean hub, and I think Galileo and others are also working on an Africa hub right now. So it's the regional trail networks coming together and working together. Sorry, Pan American Trail Hub. So there's your hubs, and there's your first slide. Nat, take it away.
Sure. So my name is Nat Scrimshaw, and I'm currently speaking to you from New Hampshire in the United States, surrounded by the beautiful White Mountain National Forest. Pan American Trails represents a regional network in the Americas. We were first incorporated in 2017 under the name World Trails Network Hub for the Americas, which is still our registered name. But we've embraced this project, the Pan American Trails Network, which is a grand vision of connecting trails and landscapes from Alaska to Patagonia and also encompassing the Caribbean. Essentially, what we're doing is supporting trail organizations throughout the Americas. Currently, the network meets monthly, and we're represented by 15 countries now, various long distance trails, national trail systems, different kinds of international organizations, universities that all share this vision. And what the Hub for the Americas, the World Trails Network Hub for the Americas is doing is playing a critical coordination role in the network. But we are just one member of the network. The established programs we have are what we call field schools, a fellowship program, expeditions, participating and supporting conferences and gatherings in an emerging digital platform. The next. Our vision, this is probably familiar to people. We're basing it on 3 pillars of conservation, recreation, and employment and income generation. This is very similar to the trails and sustainability model, where we are also looking at these 3 pillars on different scales. So we do work with local communities and local trails, all the way up to regional trails, landscape level. Obviously, we're doing transnational trail concepts, and then through our connection with the World Trails Network, also working on a global scale. Next.
Did I just do it again?
Yeah, you just want one more. That's okay.
Okay.
If you can go back, yeah.
I can't.
You can. Okay. That was just a slide that showed that we are, that our values and our work, we're harmonizing it with the biodiversity, the United Nations Biodiversity Plan, as well as the 17 sustainable goals. But you are jumping ahead a little bit. It's okay. So looking at the kinds of programs we do, one of the things that we do are field schools. And field schools are scalable. They can be anything from a 2-week workshop all the way up to a months-long or multiple-year project. Right now, we have field school programs very well established in the Northeast. We've been doing programs in Costa Rica, Mesoamerica for many years. We are just about to launch a new 2-year program in the tropical Andes in Ecuador. And we're currently working on the concept of a new field school in Brazil. Next. So another piece to the puzzle here is that through our connections with different trail organizations and their members, we also share some of the iconic trails throughout the Americas through expeditions. We're currently working on expeditions that are going to be associated with our first Pan American Trail Congress, which is scheduled for April of 2026. Next. And the fellowship program are opportunities for either professionals or graduate students to do research or participate in management activities at the trail centers in different parts of the Americas. Currently, we have 3 Trails Fellows who two of whom are coming to New Hampshire in the United States in July to participate in the White Mountain Field School course, including a semester program we have with Binghamton University. Next. And again, part of our program is to participate in and help organize conferences and gatherings of different scales. And this is just an overview of some of the roadmap we're looking at conferences, major conferences that we'll be participating in, including the one that we're organizing in 2026, which, by the way, will be in Iguazu Falls National Park in Brazil. Next. And this, just to sort of mention that our model and our philosophy is distributed leadership. So what we're doing is we're working, the network works with organizations all across the Americas. Here's a map that shows some of the trail groups we work with in South America. At this point, our steering committee that meets monthly is mostly from South and Central America. We do have some North American participants. But because of the language barrier, because we conduct these meetings in Spanish, we've had less participation from English-speaking countries. So we're about to launch a second advisory group, a second steering committee that will be English-focused, and that's going to happen. The first meeting will be in April of that. Next. And just quickly to represent the shared governance philosophy that we have. So Pan American Trails, the World Trails Network Hub for the Americas, is a US 501c3 nonprofit, but we're actually just another member of the network, of the Pan American Trails Network. We do play a critical role. We're organizing these various programs and mentioning before the expeditions and field schools and fellowships and digital platform and then gatherings. But these are all in service of the larger network, and the larger network functions as an advisory body to the board of directors of the US 501c3. And so with that, I'll end my presentation.
Thanks so much, Nat. And again, my apologies. You deserve better tech support. And next up is Asia Trails, and after that, we'll hear from European Trail Hub.
Well, hello everyone. This is Jackie Tao calling from Taiwan 1000 Miles Trail Association. We are also currently the Secretariat of the Asia Trails Network. And as you can see on the screen, the ATN has been in existence and in good operation for almost 10 years. And we also have our own Asia Trails Conference. And the picture here you see is the fifth Asia Trails Conference that we held in Korea, in Jilisan Mountain, which is the first national park in Korea. And currently, the Asia Trails Network is composed of 30 organizational members from 8 countries, including Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Bhutan, and 8 countries like that. And next slide, please. So we believe that hubs is a place where, like, because we already heard from many task teams, and we believe that hubs are a place or a platform, provides a platform where each task team's different focus can be like applied and can integrate into a local level. So in Ultra Trails Network, we currently have 2 task teams. The first one is maintenance task teams, where we meet bi-monthly online to talk about the trail issues or the trail maintenance problems that we have. And then we will exchange our best practices to improve trails over Asia together. Like last Tuesday, we just had a conversation with a trail in Korea and one in Japan to talk about how to deal with flooding situations that when they bring trash onto the trail or when snow melts, and how should we maintain the trails, things like that. Next slide, please. And also inspired by the World Trails Network's own Trail Film Festival. And we also set up a media task team dedicated to the Asia Trail Film Festival. And we are glad that we had wonderful selections for our first try. And you can scan the QR code here to reach our YouTube channel for the online screening experience. And we are preparing for our next Asia Trails Film Festival, as well as looking into opportunities to think about how media and trails can have some other opportunities in 2025. Okay, next slide. So I talked about the Asia Trails Conference, and the next conference would be in this year, and we will be held in Miyagi, Japan from November 13th to the 17th, where you will have an opportunity to hear from trail organizations and trail experts in Asia, and also to walk on the wonderful Miyagi Ole trails. They will be opening 2 new courses this year, so we invite everyone who is interested in learning about trails in Asia, because as you can see, Asia has not been well represented in the past, and because the language barriers, sometimes it's even difficult for us to communicate within ourselves. So we welcome you to join the conference and get to know us more via attending our conferences. And also a shout out to the World Trails Network for having the first hub session in the last World Trails conference in Ottawa. Next slide, please. Okay, so finally, if you're interested in the works that we do, you can follow us on Facebook, and also I have attached the work report for 2024. And if you're interested and you want to know more about trails in Asia, you can write to us at atn@tmitrail.org.tw. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And we're going to go on to hear about the European Hub. Hartmut.
Yeah, thank you. So this is Hartmut calling in today from Germany. And I'm also a member of the board of the World Trails since 3 years almost. And since 2 years, we are discussing about the hubs and that we need a hub in Europe as well. And after 2 years of preparation, we are very happy that we now have finally founded it at the 11th of February this year with 10 founding members. So this is the official start of the European Hub called the European Trails Association. And we can go to the next slide, please. And we are currently still in a lot of bureaucratic processes to get finally set up as an entity registered in the list of associations, and then recognition of nonprofit. And we also want to get donations from 1% for the planet. So we want to be recognized as a environmental partner there to receive donations. The main financing will come, at least for the start, from our directive. So we at our directive will be donating a portion of our money to get it started. And we are then also in the process opening bank account and so on and so forth. That's what we are currently doing to get operational within the next couple of weeks. Next slide, please. And then what we are doing now already is we are in the process to hire a manager. We already have found one. This is Julia. She is with us today in this meeting already. Not officially started, but I think we are on the way to do this soon. And then we are also preparing our communication. We already have a website. We have a LinkedIn account. Please follow us to get all the information. And then we will be starting acquiring new members. So we have had the founding meeting with 10, but we have been in conversation with about 20 or 30 of trail organizations. So we will call them again and ask them to become members, and then acquiring new ones. There are hundreds of existing organizations in Europe that are doing some trail works. Most of them are hiking organizations or cycling or mountain biking, skiing, and so on, but also the parks and municipalities. And it's a pretty wild, defragmented system of the trails in Europe. They are quite good developed and lots of them, but the organizations are very, very defragmented. And this is our mission, to bring them all together, to work together, to create a common voice, also do some political work. There is also a European declaration for trails in the making. We are doing this together with the ENOS, with a European network of outdoor sports. And this will be released also within the next couple of weeks, that we have got a common document to do some political work and communication with a common voice of the trails. So this is what we are currently doing. And I think that was it from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hartmut. We do have one other hub, the Mediterranean hub. I don't think Omar's with us today. Is that right? And Tatla, I don't know if you can speak to this. This is information that he shared in the fall, and I just thought I'd put it up here so that we.
I think we have Dalia. I think we have Rashad or Julie. They can speak
Yeah,
about
if somebody
the
can speak
Mediterranean hub.
quickly. I made this slide, but just based on prior material.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Rashad from Lebanon Mountain Trail Association, partner of the MTN, the MedTrails network, that I don't know if we can say now illegally the Mediterranean hub within the WTN. As the slide shows you, and I'm sorry I was not prepared for this, so I'm just gonna read what's on the slide. So we are founded in 2023, France, Lebanon, Jordan and Palestine. And of course, we are now, let's say, trying to expand. We believe the Mediterranean really has a huge diversity in culture, in tradition, in landscapes. So it really deserves to have a hub within the WTN. And voila, this is what I have to say for the moment.
Great. Thank you so much. And thanks for stepping without any notice. Thank you. And thank you everybody for coming today. I am blown away by all the excellent work that's happening. It's just so exciting to see it all in one place. And really, really grateful that you joined. Brooke, you might put in the chat again if anyone wants to get more information. Every single one of these task teams and hubs would welcome your participation. Everybody's eager to have more people talking. So we're really delighted that you all were able to join us. Julian or Stephen, any other closing words?
Just gratitude. I think there was a comment there about whether the presentation would be made available, and I think Brooke, one way or another, we will sort out so that we can share the presentation with everybody, or it'll be available. And just to say finally how honored Delia and I are to be a part of this great group of people doing extraordinary work, overcoming a lot of differences in the world right now by walking together. So thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Julian?
No, brilliant presentations. Really enjoyed it. So thank you all very much for all your work as part of the network. It's brilliant.
Thank you. Thanks so much, everybody. And I look forward to seeing you in Australia, and before that on Zoom at all of our many meetings. So thank you.
Hey, guys.
Bye-bye. If anyone wants to stay and have a conversation, we can make you a group.
Yeah.